It's been a storm for the district these last few days. What began as this optimism about this new, big, bold program has quickly turned into a lot of frustration and concerns for so many. What do you think went wrong with the rollout of the Career Pathways program, and what exactly are you doing differently now to ensure a smoother rollout of the program?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's been a storm. I think it's been a very eye-opening experience in regards to our parents' interest and an opportunity for us to ensure that we honor that opportunity for our families to be engaged. I will say that it was a bit shocking because you're right. We've had a team that's been working together since October of 2023. To really figure out a model that will help us get closer to our goals. And when we're talking about our goals as a school district, I believe that we've always been looking at how can we get better, how can we service more students and ensure that we have more students graduating and that they're graduating in a way that they're prepared for life. And so when we went out to our community, we really had the opportunity, first of all, to clear up some misunderstandings. So I think that's one of our biggest takeaways is getting information out sooner. And it's just one of those dynamics where you're trying to figure out, should I have it closer to completion, or should we be providing these mini updates along the way, even if we don't have all the answers? And I think that's what our parents, they have informed us. They've let us know that we prefer to have a little bit more bite-sized information, even if it's not complete, and we welcome that feedback. But I think that's the point we want to make, that the plan is not final, that we want our families' input, and with their input, we're going to have a better defined plan that is right for the families and the students of Cedar Rapids.
Thank you. Can you explain that plan in a very brief, clear? It's multifaceted. It's a big project, but in short, what is the Career Pathways program?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just talk about our promise to our families and our students, that we want our students to graduate equipped for college and career, empowered for life, and engaged in their community. Those are three components that we want to deliver on. So how do we ensure that our students, that they are prepared for college and career, is by giving them college and career experiences. Within our district, we've always had those experiences, whether it's been job shadows, apprenticeships, internships, AP, advanced placement classes, dual credit offerings. We've had all of those things. But when we look at the percentage of students that are actually taking advantage and benefiting from those programs, then our numbers are very low. We need to increase them. Okay, so our work-based experience, we're around about 7% of our students that are meeting those targets. When we look at being prepared for college, we have about 37% of our students. So how do we increase those numbers? We need a more intentional plan, and that's what we've built with this model. We have a very specific structure that will allow our students to really engage in those experiences starting at their freshman year all the way through high school, and that ensures that they graduate with more than a diploma.
And on that structure, so just plainly speaking, so freshman seminar, students get to decide what they want to do later. Could you kind of elaborate just exactly what the pathway for this Pathways program is?
Yep, absolutely. So each year, to your point, our students will have the opportunity to have designated space on their schedule where they can take advantage of those college and career opportunities. So with the freshman seminar, it's just an opportunity for our students to be exposed to all of the offerings that are available here within our community and understanding more about how to obtain those college credits. So for example, they may go on a field trip to visit one of the businesses. They may have someone from business and industry come in to talk about future careers and what that looks like. They'll have the opportunity to really maybe go to a college visit where they can see some of those opportunities and what they should be studying in high school if they have aspirations in a certain area of study. And by having that built-in schedule, by having an opportunity for us to outline those experiences for every freshman. That's how we get closer to a guaranteed experience for all of our students. Once they enter into that sophomore year, they're going to still have an option on their schedule where they can plug into a college and career opportunity and elective. That's just one of their classes. So overall, you're going to see some of the same traditional components that we've always seen, and that opportunity of one class from 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th grade, you're going to see that opportunity throughout that trajectory.
Thank you. I kind of want to move into parent concerns now. I think a lot of parents understand the goals of this are well-intentioned, but obviously by now not everyone's happy about it, and they don't understand why it's being so rushed when there's still, for many of them, so many unanswered questions. I see the online Q&A form. There's hundreds of questions flooding into these Q&A forms every time you hold these open sessions. Right now there is a change.org petition with over 500 signatures asking the district to delay this program. Would you consider delaying this program?
I believe what we have in front of us is an opportunity to get accurate information out to our families. Number one, just a level set, because that's what we felt a lot coming into the room, that there were so many misrepresentations of the program itself. And so being able to clear up some of that right away with our families. Number one, families were worried that they had to leave their home school. That was never the intent. Also, there were families that were worried that courses were going to be canceled, no longer offered within our school district. If I were a parent, I would be concerned too if those things were happening. So first of all, just getting out some of the accurate information to our families, I think that's already helped. And while people may look at the fact that there's 500 questions out there, we have almost 15,000 students within our school district. And we also have family members that are engaging at the elementary, middle, and high school. We consider that an opportunity for engagement and discussions with our families. What we want to do now within this next phase is invite our families to come in for more specific discussions on how we continue to develop this plan. Our sense of urgency is around getting better for our students so that we can have better outcomes. I think many families, they were better informed after attending the meetings. They were reassured that the plan is not final. And so we will have the opportunity here in the next couple of weeks at each of our campuses for our families to help us decide what our next steps should be.
Thank you. I'll kind of loop back to that question, kind of a yes or no here. Is delaying the program an option on the table right now at all?
I think what's on the table is the opportunity for our families to come in, and by having them give us more input, then we're going to have a better understanding of what our families want. And also, it will give us an opportunity to figure out how we engage even more families. And I'm very much interested in that and excited for our families to come into a space where now they feel like they have more information, because what we're hearing about the program, where some of the questions really are, to your point that you made, there's not so much that the concern around the content. They see value in their students having college experiences. They see value in their students being prepared for the workforce. They're down to the logistics, the answers that we actually need their help with to answer. And so that was our intent from the beginning. And I just want to encourage our families as we go through this process that we definitely want our families looking to us, right, and our trusted media outlets to give them the accurate information, because the hurdle that we're trying to overcome now is just making sure that they have accurate information. With accurate information, how do our families really feel? And that's what we're hoping to gain as they join these advisory committees. And the advisory committees are definitely designed to get more of the family input on the table.
Thank you. So what I'm getting basically is tweaking and amending the program is on the table, but not delaying it at the moment.
Again, I would like to hear more from our families after, because a lot of inaccurate information. I don't think that's a fair question, because there was so much inaccurate information that was out there. And then you do want to take into account that we had, almost 1,000 families show up and engage with us, either through in-person meetings or through questions. Again, we have 15,000 students within our school district, and we just want to make sure that we've had those intimate discussions, that parents have been able to go through exercises very similar to what our task forces have gone through. They've had the opportunity to react to proposals. They've had the opportunity to give us feedback. We've had, multiple drafts. And so now we definitely want our parents to have that same opportunity, and so that we can decide together what our next steps are.
Thank you. And some parents I've spoken with after those open sessions telling me there's a growing disconnect between the administration and the parents and their voices and their concerns, and that disconnect has been widening the last year. Are there efforts to kind of bridge that gap? Does that disconnect exist? What are your thoughts on that?
I believe what we have here is an opportunity to hear more from our families, and we never want to disconnect. I think what we're understanding more about is how do parents want to receive their information, how they're getting their information, how they want to be engaged. I think one of the biggest takeaways is that engagement is the new communication. While we may send out updates, parents want to be more involved. And while in some of the practices that we've taken in the past, we've had more smaller committee work where you may have parent representatives that are there to give their input, business partners that are there. Our task force is probably 60 to 80 people, right? That feels like that's a good group that's coming together quite often. Where the opportunity now is to have more parents around the table, and we're hoping that will continue to provide the answers that they need. I think the other opportunity is to really take a look at, while this is a district-wide effort and it is backed by district resources, that the campuses are the ones that actually were the ones that designed their plans. And so again, by creating these forums at each of the campuses, then the parents will now be engaged a little bit more with their administrators and their school staff members to design a plan that's right for their campus.
Thank you. And I've been speaking to a lot of teachers recently, anonymously. A lot of them are telling me some serious things, some very serious things. Many of them are not on board with this Career Pathways program. They say, to quote them, there is a culture of fear and retaliation right now in the district, right now, and they cannot speak up. They're telling me this is not the same district they started working for. Their voices are being sidelined. Are you aware of these concerns? Is the administration aware of these concerns among teachers in your district in regards to this new program? And if so, what is being done there?
Yeah, that is quite interesting to hear. And I do want to also take into account that we also have 3,000 staff members within our school district, and to paint any type of broad brush without any type of data effects, that's quite interesting. What we do want to do is to continue to engage with our staff members on a regular basis, and we do that. I think we are up against some of those same opportunities once again that we have with our families. We've had staff members that have been involved in this process, but we need more staff members involved in this process. Back in March of 2024, we had a launch of all of our high schools to be able to share this entire process. We're now working in smaller groups that will get closer to our teachers being able to be a part of designing the courses. And we are still a ways away from full implementation. And so just understanding how teachers will continue to be involved and recognizing that this is a shift. It is a change. And in terms of how we deliver the offerings across our system, we need our teachers to be engaged in this process. We know that we have the same end goals in mind, that our students, that they graduate ready for life, and how we come together to work with our students. We want that. Right? We want to make sure that we retain our teachers within our organization. We also recognize, as hard as our teachers are working, and we have teachers that are dedicated, they go above and beyond. But some of the things that we have discovered as we are taking a look at how we roll this out is that we do have to take a look at our courses to ensure, are they able to support college readiness? Are they able to support career readiness?
Yeah.
And will we have to offer maybe some different courses or in a different way? And giving our staff members the opportunity to have voice into it and how that's going to impact their daily lives as well. That's equally important to us.
Yeah. So do you think those teachers with those fears and concerns are a minority in the district now? And if so, are you, or is the administration committed to having a safe space where teachers can talk, can raise their concerns about this program without
Absolutely.
retaliation? They say there is no safe space at the moment.
Oh, well, we do have a safe space. I'll give you one example of a safe space. I have a teacher cabinet. Okay, we meet on a monthly basis. We met all last year. We just had a meeting just a few weeks ago. A teacher representative from all of our campuses. Now, what I will say, now they told me as the superintendent that what would they like to see improved in the district. They want more transparency and they want more inclusiveness. They said that directly to me, and I received that, and I think that was good feedback and what that looks like. And I think that's a very safe space. And so we want to make sure that we continue to foster that and to create more avenues. I think that's some of the opportunities that we have is how do we create more spaces to reach more of our teachers. And I want to reassure them that their voices are important and that they should have input and insight into this process. What we're also embracing is how do we continue to refine our system so that we can do things a little bit differently than what we're doing them so that we can get better results for our students together.
Will teachers be kind of free to say, I'm not happy with this program, I would not like it to move forward, here are my concerns?
Absolutely, absolutely. Teachers, they should be able to have those conversations with their administrators. The administrators, they're helping to lead those conversations at their buildings, and they should be able to voice their concerns.
They're saying they're unable to voice these concerns because they fear retaliation. There's been a culture of get on board with this, or you know what.
Well, I want to assure our staff members here through your outlet and through ours, and I will personally do that their voices matter to us. They are important to this process, and we want to continue to create safe spaces where they can be heard, but also where we can come together around a plan that we can definitely move forward. Because what's the challenge that's in front of us, it still remains, how do we get better? And we have to do that together.
Thank you. I realize we're running out of time. So last question here is, there's a lot of parents in the district, and it's hard to kind of gauge who's on board and who's not. Would the district be open to sending a survey out to parents, kind of a yes or a no? Are you on board with this Career Pathways program moving, coming in during the fall, I think is when it first starts? Or is there some form of survey going to be sent out? Or I know earlier surveys were sent out, but not a lot of people responded to those. I think it was like 15%, I'm not sure of the numbers. Will the district try to redo that and see if people are actually on board or not?
This is what we're committed to. We've definitely had a couple of surveys out. Actually, at this point, one of our surveys that we sent out, our school perception survey, we asked our community.
After all the open houses.
I know. I just want to be able to walk through it. That we, in terms of, are we on board with surveys, and kind of let you know how that process works. Totally. So we sent out a survey, number one, asking our parents if they wanted us to expand college and career readiness. Over 86% of the parents said yes. Now we understand that with that, now is how did that model work? And I think to be fair to our families, we must take the opportunity to make sure that they have good information and to see if that's even necessary. And so by inviting all of our parents, as many parents that would like to participate at our parent advisory opportunities, that is our next best step to have them up front, not just on a survey, because through these forums, we'll be able to hear their why. That we'll be able to hear what they like and how they want to move forward. And together, we'll be able to know what's the next step that is best for Cedar Rapids Community School District.
So is that going to be kind of a threshold? In 2 months, we think we put out as much information as we can. People have answers to all their questions, now is a good time to actually gauge, now that they know everything about this program, now is a good time to gauge if they're on board or not. When you clear out all that confusion, is there going to be a threshold of when that survey gets sent out, or if a survey at all gets sent out?
We're committed to ongoing communication. We started with our meetings this week, and we won't stop. We will continue to engage our families.
Thank you, Dr. Grover.
You're welcome.